everybody. We are back together. This is going to be a good one. We got a lot to discuss. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be back in action with you, and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's been almost a month since we did our last together episode, so let's get into
Wow.
it.
The people have been calling for it. They want the band back together. And a lot's been going on. I think we'll start where I am right now in my life and what's been going on and what you've been helping me with. And if you're a long time listener, if you know anything about us at all, then you know that I am a writer and I've been trying to put the pieces together for about a decade now. No, since like 2017, since I graduated, I've been pursuing this life of a creator, a writer, a dreamer, of course.
Of
And
course.
yes, that has really been the backbone of everything I've done. But the kind of chink in my chain, if you will, has been kind of, you know, finding a sustainable way to make money while pursuing this dream life. And that has led me to having a bunch of different day jobs and just, it led me to moving to Japan and teaching English and kind of doing things where I would have experiences and it wasn't, exactly what I wanted to do, but it at least gave me some fuel for writing and also just money so I could survive and continue pursuing this stuff. And kind of have come to a crossroads at this point that I'm at right now. And maybe it's because I'm turning 30 in a couple months, but I think it's just the pent up frustration and you know just a need to kind of meld these worlds and kind of figure out um, what I'm doing with a little more clarity and kind of just get more specific. And this all kind of sounds, you know, very unspecific so far. So I'm gonna hone it in. And so basically, I've been trying to figure out like how to make money from this for a long time, and now I'm at a point where I'm like, I was gonna, for the past like 6 months, I've been trying to maybe make money writing online. Like that is the dream in a way where I can just write about, you know, anything, just my journey of life, and then get paid for it. But I kind of had a moment when I'm like, I don't really think that is the answer anymore. Like I don't know if it's really even possible. Sure it is, but like God, I really don't know how to write about whatever I want to write about personal development and traveling and just do it in my own way and to make like a real income from it. At least I haven't figured it out, and I feel like maybe I was just trying to make something happen that wasn't meant to be, and maybe it's just not meant to be right now. It could have happened down the line, but I think I'm going in a different direction, and that direction is actually right back where I started at the beginning of this journey. And that is trying to get a real professional writing job that's like for a magazine, for a brand, um, kind of being able to do what I've been doing and pursuing creativity with all my free time and stuff, but just doing it because I love it and not because I'm trying to make it my career. But then also doing something as my main anchor, my income, where I am getting um, professional skills and working with other people and working with other editors and maybe writing about stuff that I don't, I'm not just purely for me. It's about it could be anything, but basically, I'm realizing that I got to give everything I have to finding a real gig that I'm excited about and where there's room to grow and where I'm working with other people and where I could use my love for writing and my interest in the world and community and stuff to really get outside of my own little box of creativity and like blossom in a real professional space. And I'm gonna cut it off there. But before I do, just come back later, I think fear has been a big part of why I haven't truly um, attacked this yet. And I'll come back to that.
I definitely want to come back to that because that's interesting. You'd think that doing it on your own and creating your own brand would be the scarier option, but we will revisit the file because it sounds like there's something in writing for someone else and going after that original dream that is scary. And what I'm
Mm-hmm.
hearing you say in all of this is that you're about to turn 30. There's some societal pressure from the world, from people in your life saying, what are you doing? It's probably the inner voice too saying, what are you doing? You're about to turn 30. We need to start making some money. And what I'm hearing you say is that after trying to do it on your own for the past 8, 9, 10 years, you're thinking about doing what you love, which is writing, but doing it in a context that's a company or an established brand, not necessarily doing it all yourself.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, that's all that's all true. 100%. Like and I'm in a very good and interesting place right now where I am coming up against that wall of societal pressure. And so another little backstory is that like in the last couple of weeks, I almost pivoted to trying to do something else with my main kind of career. And I would still continue to pursue the creativity and stuff on the side, but I was going to go for a master's in psychology and train to be like a therapist, and then eventually create like my own coaching program that, involves somatic work and creativity and writing and stuff, because it sounded like an interesting option because I do love psychology. And I was going to do a program where I could specialize in spirituality, which is like all I read. I love spirituality and like personal growth and stuff. And I thought it was a good fit because I would use my chronic pain history to, it's not very random that I would do this. It's like I've gone through so much to heal my body and heal my mind that I would want to help other people do the same. And it almost felt like a safer career bet. And it did come from my mom. Like she suggested that I go down this path because I think she's worried about me. It's going to be 10 years down the line. I'll be 40 and I'll be like, how am I going to make money? I'm still writing books and stuff, but like I have no income. And then, so that's all that side of it. I think, oh, well, I'll let you go.
I was just going to chime in and say that that has been a thought of mine as well throughout the years. Education is amazing. And I also think we're entering an age where higher education is less important. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, it was always, oh, do I go back and get a master's in psychology or do I go back and get a master's in leadership studies? And for me, it was always that felt like the safe option. That
Mm-hmm.
felt like, okay, I know exactly what it's going to look like. I'm good at school. I'll get good grades. I'll learn these things from prestigious and trusted sources. And I'll just kind of follow the rules and steps and directions. And then I'd ask myself, okay, well, if the end goal is still being a coach and building my own business,
Mm-hmm.
why would I not just focus those years and those hundreds of thousands of dollars, however much it would cost, on just doing that now and learning the lessons? And it's been something I've been grappling with a lot. So when you brought it to me, I just definitely resonated with it
Mm-hmm.
because it's a good option. It makes parents happy. It makes everyone else happy because it can fit into the neat little box of, oh yeah, I'm doing this and here's the path and this is the defined trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's like, it's like a, when you just, from experience, it's almost like a exhale. It's like, oh, okay, 4 more years where I know where I'm doing. It's like I you sign up for that. And it's like, okay, now I just have to follow the schedule, follow the rules, and then I'll have this degree, and then I'll be in a different place. I don't want to sound pessimistic. It's like I'll be right back where I started, but like, who is it? The Seth Godin, like one of my favorite authors, wrote like The Practice and Lynchpin. He's I think he created his own master or like MB program
the
because
alt MBA,
yeah, because he's like, people don't need to go back to school to go to business school. They need to start a business. Like the ultimate education. And it's probably going to fail, but like that is a better education than going to school for it, because we do go to school if we're lucky. Like it's obviously a lot of money and stuff, but when we don't really know what to do, like my girlfriend, she found this amazing job now, but she's over the years, the last decade, she's like, she almost went to grad school, and it's like, it's a safe bet. It's another path. You feel like you're doing something productive, but then I was like that day when we talked, I was excited. I was about to start doing the essays and stuff to do it. And like, it's, I love psychology. Like it's fascinating because it helps me understand myself and other people. And that does sound like an interesting thing, but I talked to you and you kind of just shook me a bit and like, dude, like, is that really what you want to do? Like with your life and with your time? And that's a lot of work. And you kind of woke me up to how much work it would actually be, like 3,000 hours of, work under a licensed therapist after the 2-year program and stuff. I'm like, Jesus, that does sound pretty intense.
Well, and the reason I said that is because I heard you talking about where you wanted to be after it all instead
Mhm,
of talking about what it would be like throughout the journey of the thing. So if you're doing the thing just to get to the other side so you can have the outcome, then
mhm,
it's like, okay, that's 2 years in the program, 3,000 hours. We'll probably take another 4 years.
mhm,
That's 6 years. And we both kind of aligned on, do you want to be just a therapist? Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we were saying that, okay, knowing what we know about you, if you're sitting in your little private practice for 8 hours a day, just therapizing, if that's a word, probably
talking to
not
people.
what
Yeah,
you want to do.
right. I mean, in a sense, no, but I don't know. Like, part of me was like, maybe I would enjoy. Like, I've gained so much from therapy over the last year. It's completely changed my life. My therapist is the man. It's like we're homies now, and he's helped me so much. I'm like, I could do that. Like, I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy listening rather than, even though on this podcast I go off on some serious tangents. Um, I'm like, I entertain the idea, but then what really just resonated and kind of woke me up was like, you pretty much saying like, dude, think about like what your dream really is. And I'm like, I know what my dream is. It just seemed so unattainable and like so hard to freaking do and get to the place where I think is my dream. And I've known it all along. And that's why I said I'm going back to the beginning, because when I graduated college, the first place that I was looking for a job was this brand Huckberry. And I got a sticker right here on my little recording thing. And it's pretty cool coming back to that, because so they are like an outdoor adventure e-commerce site. So they have tons of different brands. It's like outdoor stuff, style stuff. So it's like fashion, fitness, men's health, all this stuff. And they have like a journal and everything. And I wanted to write for the journal. And it just seemed like so cool. And that has kind of guided my whole journey of like, that was the North Star, but I started to get sidetracked in a way, but not really, by this tantalizing promise of making money online. Being a freelance blogger, you can write about whatever you want and you can make money from websites like Medium and Substack. And it's been the constant battle of my soul throughout my 20s, trying to, do I like really try to get a writing job, or do I try to make it online? And I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now, just coming to this place. And that's why I think everything happened for a reason, for sure, throughout my 20s, but even just like me veering off and questioning this psychology route, because it's made me see that, no, my dream is to freaking be a writer, an editor, a content creator for brands like Huckberry, that men's health, personal growth, fashion, like style and men's fashion and outdoor adventures and traveling. Like, I want to be working for one of those brands so bad. And like, I could just see myself in it. But the fear, I think, has held me back. I think in a way it's just like how difficult it seems, like how to even get into that the world, but then also the fear that I'm just not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I'm not a, when when I go on websites, like when I was in Tokyo, it was like Tokyo Weekender and websites like Outside Magazine. I see the byline and then the profile of the writer that wrote that article. And it's like writer for, I don't know, Business Insider and Outdoor Magazine and The Atlantic and stuff. It's like published in these magazines. I'm just like, fuck, like you know, it's just that resistance or that comparison. And at a point now where I'm just like, I do belong. Like that is where I'm meant to be, and I'm gonna give everything I have to making it my reality. And I'll come back to kind of my new mindset and kind of what I'm doing to make it happen now. But I'll let you come on in.
Couple questions. Did you end up applying to Huckberry after college?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't even know if they had like an official. And that's the thing with this whole field and this line of work. It's like it's not just like a job opening usually that you see and like you would just apply, and it's like, and that's been a big resistance part for me too, is there's no just clearly defined map to get to the place. It's not like I go to school, I get the thing, I get the job, and I just climb. It's like it's all about connections and outreach and like creating relationships and stuff, and that is harder to kind of wrap my head around than just the straightforward, send in the resume and get the job sort of thing. It's like I have to kind of wedge out my a role in these places as opposed to them just like offering it to me. And so I guess my fallback when faced with that resistance has always been, okay, I could just go to Substack and try to make it, like just do whatever I want. And but no, like I want to have that place for my Substack and stuff just for writing about whatever I want to write about. And then I want, like, I want to be given a task and like go write this story. Cause like, I know I could do it. Like
Yeah.
I could get it. Like I love writing and I love getting up early and like attacking a project. Like if I had something to channel my energies into, I know I could thrive, and I know it's going to happen. So I think I definitely sent them like, cover letter and stuff, but like there wasn't a job. It was like, I would love to just work for your company sort of thing
I
at
mean,
the
that's the
time.
hardest part about being an entrepreneur is not having a clearly defined path or
Yeah.
an easy job application you can submit your skills to. It's
Yep.
constantly not knowing what's next and knowing that you could do a million things and having to prioritize. That's why I think going back to school feels like such a comfortable option because, like you said, it's here's the syllabus for the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. This is what you're going to be doing. This is the neat box you fall into that you can tell family and friends about and they
Right.
understand it versus I'm trying to build something that is so exciting and big to me that I can't even fully articulate it right now.
Yeah. Dude, that gives me great quote material here. Kevin Kelly, who I'm kind of just basing my whole life off of at the moment. He was
Perfect.
one of the founders of Wired magazine. And one sec, Kevin Kelly. My generic career advice for young people is that if at all possible, you should aim to work on something that no one has a word for. Spend your energies where we don't have a name for what you are doing, where it takes a while to explain to your mother what it is you do. When you're ahead of language, that means you're in a spot where it is more likely you're working on things that only you can do. It also means you won't have much competition. Possible occupations that are ahead of our language would be person that sits with you when you are ill, storyteller for the company, AI whisperer, media fact checker, wireless troubleshooter, eugenic advisor, diviner, yada yada. My second bit of counsel is anti-career advice, and it goes like this: your 20s are the perfect time to do a few things that are unusual, weird, bold, risky, unexplainable, crazy, unprofitable, and looks nothing like success. The less this time looks like success, the better it will be as a foundation. For the rest of your life, these orthogonal experiences will serve as your muse and touchstone upon which you can build an uncommon life. And that one resonates a lot. The second part is what I've really, used throughout my 20s. Like, the experiences are what matter. But the first part is interesting, where it's like you want to do something where you don't have a word for. And like, over the years, I've been whittling down my job description, my passion, like what it is I actually do, because I don't even know what it truly is. All I know is the things I love, the things that make me happy, and the things that would make me very excited to do day in and day out. If I was making just enough money to survive, like I'm living my dream life now, but like I want money. I want to make money doing what I love. And it's been this constant chipping away at myself, really, which is really cool because it feels like I'm in a good place right now where a lot of things are coming together.
Yeah, now when you go back to Huckberry and these other brands, you have a story to tell instead of saying, I just graduated college, I don't have any experience. You have 5 years of a podcast, you have 2 books, you have living abroad for 2 years, you have this whole array of experience that you can share with them. And again, it's not going to be, I think one thing that I've heard you say a couple times that I'll challenge you on is,
Please.
I would love to work for your company. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see that being effective
Yeah.
because I'm sure everyone wants to work for that company. More of along the lines of like you designing or carving out your own role and saying, this is how I can add value to your company. Would love to connect and chat or something
Mm-hmm.
along the lines of that.
For sure.
That's just what's coming up for me as you share that.
Yeah. I've definitely, I guess it's not my strong suit, hasn't been so far. Pitching myself, it's more of like, I would just, yeah, I would love to be a part of what you're doing, but I have to show what I'm learning, what Santana, who's a couple episodes back, has helped me with, is how to add value, to show that they need you,
Yeah.
and would greatly benefit, and show them what you could do. And it's not about asking for a job, it's about creating a relationship. And that is how I'm kind of approaching this next chapter of making this dream a reality. I haven't really built, and I'm probably saying that, not realizing how much I actually have done, but built relationships in the writing space and community. Because thinking about it, I actually do have, like, on Medium, I have built some solid relationships, and um, maybe random places. But I think that's going to be the focus here, is really carving just a place in this world, um, for myself, and like making a making a name for myself, like meeting people, and not just saying like I'd love to work for your brand, but like creating a web of connections and reaching out and just gaining insights into where people are hurting in this field, like what isn't working well, and um, kind of honing my message and how I can add value and how I can help. And um, so yeah, that's with entrepreneurship for sure. That is like something that I've struggled with, and something that is just difficult, is you're just wading through a swamp of uncertainty, and it's a there's no roadmap. You are really like, you're learning what you're doing anew every day. It's like, and just an example of that is like, yesterday I was so burnt out of just looking at job descriptions and stuff. And then today, just like a renewed sense of excitement and passion for it, and like joy, and um, just waking up this morning and just kind of hitting the affirmations of like, Joe Dispenza style, of like welcoming what's already out there waiting for me, you know, welcoming it in and being open to the miracles and um, not settling, I think is a big key to this. It's like, I know I'll get there. It's just the beginning.
Yes. And so many things I want to say, but one is just this kind of vacillation between days of how you're feeling. And if you're confident one day and not confident the other day, that's something I experience all the time. And how it's been showing up for me is with my TEDx talk. And now feeling like I need to live up to this persona of being the bold action guy,
Mm.
which I love on one hand. And on another, I've been having some imposter syndrome recently where I'm watching the TEDx and I'm responding to comments because that's what I'm supposed to do to help drive engagement. And the other day, I just had this thought. I was like, did I actually do this? Like, did I actually go on this 100-day challenge and meet my girlfriend at a cafe and give a TEDx talk about it? Or like, is this all just a dream? Is this all just made up? And
Dream
it's
within a dream.
weird. It's weird that even as the guy who did all those things and has walked the walk, I still question myself sometimes. And I'm still like, oh,
100%.
do I still have it? So I just want to say yes to all of that.
That's interesting. That's really interesting to say that. Um, what's coming up is like, do you have to be that guy? You know, do you have to stay in that box in a way of being like, I am the bold action guy? Like my whole life has to be dictated by taking bold action, or like, what's your relationship feel like with it? Can you just expound a little more?
The answer is definitely no. I don't need to just be that. And I know that. And I also appreciate that because I don't want to just be defined by one thing, and reminding myself that I am a dynamic person who can go on that adventure for a bit and then go on this adventure over there and then do all these other things. That
Mm-hmm.
is helping me come back to it. And actually, what's really helping me come back to it in an exciting way is realizing that taking bold action is part of the picture, but it's not the entire canvas. Bold action is actually one of the three pillars that support something that is way more meaningful and important to me, which is living a story worth telling. So
Mm.
the first pillar is having the courage to live a life true to yourself. The second pillar is daring to dream. Funny enough, the name of this podcast. And the third is taking bold action.
Mm.
So all that to say, I don't feel like I need to only be that person. And there's constant pressure from the outside to only be that person in
Mm-hmm.
terms of marketing and what's your message and what's your keynote and who are you and who do you help and just all the questions.
Mm-hmm.
But it brings in some things I've been learning recently from Simon Sinek. And he's just been talking about how being human is messy and it's always a yes and it's not an either or. So
Mm-hmm.
you and I constantly ask the questions of, should we go through life like this or should we go through life like that?
Right.
And the answer is yes and to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it makes sense to prioritize meaning over happiness. Other times it makes sense to prioritize happiness over meaning. There's not a one
Mm.
size fits all for all scenarios. And it can be really easy to try and grab that one right way. And it's something that I am guilty of all the time. So that's another thing I've been thinking about a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What comes up there is like, we don't have to, you know, we are constantly evolving and changing, and it is messy. It's not this completely linear timeline where it's like, oh, I said I have, you know, I'm the bold action guy and I have to live up to that in my whole life. It's like, that's something that I did. You did those things in that TEDx talk. And now if you want to not be a bold action guy, that's totally fine. Like, you can chill and you'll learn, you know, you will extract a different message from chilling a little more. And, you know, like if that's what you need at that certain time, and you don't have to, and then in another regard, you don't have to shut the door on that part of you. It's like, it's constantly coming back and forth. And for me, it's like, at a certain point, I might, want to try to make money again online. But okay, I'm ready to give it another shot. So it's like not closing the door on that, just not closing the door on anything. Um, it's this ebbing and flowing and doing what, taking what we've learned and bring it into the new season of our lives, and just realizing that we are always changing people, and you only get stuck by getting to the trap of thinking you have to be something that you were, or you can't be something new or that you want to be. And um, it is messy, it's life is messy, and we try so hard to, me and you are like, as entrepreneurs pretty much, well, you definitely are, and I guess I am too. It's like we you're always looking for the message, you're looking to clarify the message, to pin it down, to hone what you're doing so you could deliver something concise and something that feels genuine to prospective clients and stuff. But it's like, is that who we really are? Or is that just this message that sounds good and feels good? And it's like, I don't know. I'm reading To Have or To Be right now by Eric Fromm, and that's getting me very philosophical and and it's helping a lot because he talks about like Aristotle, um, his whole philosophy for human flourishing, which is called eudaimonia, was like passivity um, versus activity. But for him and for like the ancients, activity wasn't just simply being busy. He considered the greatest activity to be the contemplative life, and to be active and doing things that enrich your soul rather than look like productivity on the surface. And we've gone very much in the opposite direction in our day and age of being in the having mode, where we measure our worth based on what we have, what we produce, how busy we look, instead of, like, for me, sometimes I just want to like just do nothing, and that feels like an unproductive activity, even though like I'm, if you can't quantify it and put the thing on paper and say like this and show this is what I did, it feels like you're wasting time. And I think Simon Sinek talks about that. Um, little side note there, but
No, I really resonate with that. I was actually journaling about it last night. The first half of this year was so crazy and high energy with preparing for the TEDx, giving the TEDx, sharing the TEDx. I also launched my first group coaching program throughout all of that. Did 4 months with 4 guys, and it was amazing. And now, especially in summer, coaching is somewhat cyclical, and summer is usually a little slower. And I've been having more free time, and I've been filling it with great things like pickleball, but I've been really struggling with feeling guilty about that.
mhm.
Going to play pickleball at 4 on a weekday, on a work day, versus, staying in the office until like 6, which is ridiculous because the whole goal is to work hard and have enough so that I can go play pickleball when I want. But
Right.
it's just, it's something that feels uncomfortable because it is so much more, funny enough, more comfortable to just like fill my time with all these things that seem productive.
Hmm.
But honestly, who's to say that going and playing pickleball isn't the best thing for me? Which actually yesterday was. I was working on redesigning my keynote and I was very stuck. And then I was like, okay, screw it. I'm going to go play pickleball. And then while I was playing pickleball, the answer kind of came to me. And then I was able to implement that today.
Oh, came in my backstroke.
Exactly.
Dude, yeah. I mean, it is and that is part of the reason why like I have pretty strong feelings for wanting to do work where I dictate when I do it, or it's just more creative where I just know I have a project and this is what I have to get done. I could I'd be, today I woke up at 5 and like went to the gym and was, because I was just like excited to get this stuff going, and worked like from like 8 to 11 when we started. Um just like in the flow state, just kind of hammering it, and things were happening, and like, and I would rather like do that and then do the podcast, and then like, I start tuckering out a bit in the afternoon where just the mental faculties are not as sharp, and I'm just kind of over it. And it's just a battle. It's like, okay, am I just like lazy? You got to push through, make yourself do this stuff. But who's to say that you're not supposed to just work like when you want? And in those, I mean, I guess as a writer, it's like 3 to 4 hours is kind of the max you could just be sitting down and writing. And then you need to like go live your life to get inspired and stuff. And Naval Ravikant, I mean, he definitely like worked his ass off his entire life to get to this point. But he says like he's pretty much I'm on his page where it's like he wants to do deep work in the morning when he's excited and stuff, and then spend the afternoon outside with his kids exploring. And that's my ideal life. And it's going to take time to get to that place. Like, obviously you got to buckle down and work, but that is what I'm shooting for. Guilt-free afternoons pretty much all the time, where I'm just like enjoying life and doing deep, meaningful work in the AM.
Yeah. As rapper Code of the Friend says, grind till you're chilling on a work day.
Yes. Dude, I might, he's coming to San Francisco in September.
Nice.
I'd love to see him.
Yeah. I love that. So another thing I wanted to bring in here, also from Simon Sinek, and it's funny. It's something that I wrote about like 3-4 months ago that I noticed in my life. But of course, he's so eloquent. He connected some dots that I hadn't seen. I had understood a shift. I didn't really understand why. And basically, he was talking about how the insecure overachiever is the person who falls prey to complete and total self-optimization. So if you're insecure about your job or where you're at or how much money you're making, you're way more likely to be, okay, I'm going to wake up super early, then I'm going to go to the gym, then I have to cold plunge, then I have to hit my 12-step morning routine, then I have to take my 9 neurotropic supplement stack, and then I have to hit my fasting window, and then I have to take athletic greens, and like all these things.
Right.
It's something that I had noticed and written about a little bit ago. Of the lens I was looking at it through was saying that you can't self-optimize your way to fulfillment. And what he was saying is that the happiest people do some of those things. Maybe they cold plunge, maybe they take a sauna, but they spend more time with relationships and with people they love. And he is really big on relationships, and saying that Maslow, with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he got his little pyramid wrong. He got the pyramid
Got a
right.
little period wrong, buddy. Pyramid.
The pyramid is right if you're looking at humans.
Upside down.
If you're looking at humans
inverted
through the lens of us just being individuals, but we're not just individuals. We exist in community with other people. And what really hit home for me was that the bottom part of the pyramid is food and shelter. And he was saying that no one has ever committed suicide from being hungry. People commit suicide from being lonely. And relationships is like the third tier. It's food and shelter on the bottom. Then there's one other one, and then it's relationships. And then you move up to self-actualization. And Simon Sinek was making a really great point around relationships being one of the most important things. And the happier and more fulfilled you are in your relationships, the happier and more fulfilled you are in your job. You just don't care about the self-optimization stuff as much. And it was really interesting to hear, because again, I noticed it in myself as I became more content, secure, confident. My self-esteem grew. I was less worried about what note-taking app I was using as I was reading all these business books and how I was going to revisit the notes and make sure I was continuously learning. Now I just read a book and enjoy it, and I take notes if I want to.
What comes up is just control. The more insecure and kind of unhappy with yourself, the more you're going to try to control everything. And the only thing we can control is how we respond, really, because we can't control anything. So it's just how we respond to all of life. And I'm just finding this in a big way just with my whole spiritual journey and trying, coming out of chronic pain and stuff, is that I can't control the things that are going on around me. I can't really control the pain that I feel in my body, but I could control my reaction. And that is what actually dictates the pain in the end. It's like the only thing I can control is my breathing and my appreciation and just gratitude. And when things start getting out of whack, or when it's disharmony inside, you could try to control everything around you, try to control people, what they think about you, what they do, what they say. And like everything in your life has to be perfect, or else if one thing goes off, then your whole inner landscape is off, instead of really trying to do everything, as Michael Singer says, to clear the blockages inside of you so that no matter what happens, everything just blows through you like the wind. And I mean, I'm more the side of unoptimizing our lives and just enjoying it and doing what feels right. And that also means that I love healthy things, and that is what usually feels right. But I like a little more serendipity and just kind of letting things happen, letting things unfold naturally. And so I have been liking this Joe Dispenza meditation. I do it as much as I can, but like I don't beat myself up if I miss a couple of days, or if I'm hungry. And this is all pretty new to me. Like for a very long time, I was very controlling of like everything has to be a certain way. And if I get hungry in the morning now, I allow myself to eat. I don't have to force myself to fast every goddamn day and stuff like that. And it's just like pretty much getting down to like all that matters is your experience of life. And we got to ask ourselves why we're doing the things that we're doing. Like, why are we trying to control things to the nth degree? Because let me come back to the beginning, we don't feel like we're in control of ourselves and what's going on inside of us. So saying it again, but we try to control everything outside of us. It's an interesting thing.
And I love what Michael Singer says about the reason why we try and control everything. We try and control the external world because we're not okay inside.
Oh yeah.
Always comes back to that.
That's it, man. It's refreshing, and it's like a weight off just to realize that we are not okay inside. None of us are. And that is the cause of all suffering, of all the trying to control, of the way that society is. It's all because like on a personal, individual level, we're simply not okay inside. And we're trying to make these things happen to make us feel okay. And this will be an interesting way to kind of tie the whole circle together. Like part of me feels ashamed that I haven't had a real job since leaving Japan. And I didn't have a job for like a year when I was there. I haven't had a real job in a while since teaching English. And it's not that I haven't been trying. Like I have been trying to find one. And I even just say that because I want people to think that I am trying. It's like what will people think of me? And like now I'm like, geez, I'm like the further and further away from having a job. Like the longer I don't have a job, the more people will think that I'm like just a privileged kid, or I don't, I'm lazy, or like whatever. And then it's like, why am I feeling these things? Why? It doesn't actually matter what anybody else thinks. All that matters is like what you think of yourself. Like it's just a crazy thing that puts so much pressure on what other people think of us that it dictates our entire lives in the way that society is built and the things that we pursue, because we think that by achieving this thing, by getting to that place, these people will see me in a certain way. I'll finally have, the things that make me look successful. And of course, then I will be happy because I'll have power, I'll have prestige. And it's simply not the case. It's crazy. It really is funny. So that is why I'm really trying to question and hone in on like what is it that will just enrich my life, and what can I do over the long haul that will just make me happy to be alive and happy to do what I'm doing. And yeah, it is relationships, obviously a huge part of that, and but just the realization that we're not okay inside. We're constantly grasping for control when we're just falling, continually, and it's a beautiful thing.
And people will think those things about you for sure. And if you're okay on the inside, if you're okay with yourself, those things won't bother you as much. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of shadow work. If you integrate the things and come to terms and accept the things you're so afraid of being, then when people say it, you're like, yeah, you're right. There's no faster way to diffuse an argument, both whether it's literal or existential, as like, yeah, you're right. Agreement ends right. Yep. All sorts of arguments.
People don't know how to respond to that. It's a good one. Oh man. And dude, like, obviously saying all this, we're super interested in stuff, but like I'll speak for myself, I am very much just a human being, just as much as anybody. I crave attention and I want people to like me, and I feel ashamed for doing certain things, but I'm getting a lot better, I think, at all of it, and being much kinder to myself and realizing that like this shit does not matter at all. What people think, what job you have, like, are you enjoying just the whole journey, just the experience of being a human being? Like, it is such a interesting paradigm, and like it's a funny little like thing I've been coming up against is like, I listen to Michael Singer every day, and I think you are too at this point, and it's like greatly enhancing my life because it's just helped me realize this stuff. And then sometimes maybe you're telling somebody about like his teachings or something, and it's like, okay, but at a certain point you have to be realistic. You have to think about this like a real person, like his, and this is like in my own head, but it's like his teachings of just, I'm not okay inside, I'm trying to change the world to make me feel okay inside. It's pretty much surrender to everything is on one side, and the other side is like, okay, but you actually have to deal with life. You have to take action. You have to do things. You have to, you have to play the game. Then it's like, well, that is exactly the mentality that people foster how do you even say this? It takes a pretty exceptional person to not fall for that trap of being like, okay, well, of course I have to go back to the rational side at some point. Like, I can't truly just let everything go and truly not care and truly just, surrender to life and just enjoy everything. Can I? Like, no, I have to be a normal person a little bit. And it's like, do you? Like, how much do you want to just enjoy life? And that is, that takes a lot of work. That's, as he says, it's dying every day and burning away everything that we know and that we have like built this facade upon. And every day just getting super clear on why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. And the reason is because I'm not okay inside. And that's really it.
And I think it's a sliding.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think final.
I think it's a sliding scale and a spectrum of leaning into that surrender. It's not a on off switch. It's not like, oh,
Yeah.
now I have changed so much that I'm okay inside all the time. It's like, oh, sometimes I am, and maybe I'm, 3% better than I was 3 months ago.
Hmm.
It's all that. And then also what comes up for me is I am, I'm really enjoying balance right now. I don't know if balance is the right word. Maybe it's yin and yang. I am listening to heavy metal at the gym. Never thought I'd like heavy metal. I think it's like heavy metal light. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
there's not much screaming because that kind of freaks me out, but it's like intense rock. And then crush workout, get in the car, and as soon as I get in the car, I put on Michael Singer and drive home. And
Mm.
it's like complete juxtaposition between the two. And it's been quite nice.
I love that. Who do you listen to? What is it?
This band called Fearless. Sorry,
Ah,
band is called President. One of their songs is called Fearless. They only have 2 songs out. I'll send you them.
two songs.
Yeah,
Let's go.
they
Niche.
are.
Send me them, buddy.
Yeah,
Dude, I love that. Like, I love being yeah, these are all labels, but it's like, I love being a writer who's known as more of a writer is known as more of a intellectual and but also being like, I freaking love the gym. I love athletics and being outside. And I also love partying sometimes, like from time to time.
my name is Vinny, and I like
I
to
love
party.
I like to party for sure. I love to send it, but also I'm super into health and feeling great and like mindfulness. I love being a universal human being, just open to all these different experiences. And it's like you don't have to. That's an interesting person, I think, is one who listens to Michael Singer and also heavy metal and like is open to just everything that life has for us.
An amalgamation of juxtaposed interests.
Big time. Yeah, bud.
Well, this feels like a good place to bake the cake.
Get it out of the oven. Yeah, I think we're going to talk about improv, but maybe we'll.
Yeah, I can come up another time.
Okay, I've got the bandwidth for that one. Yeah, man, everything is pretty damn good. Excited, writing down, just keeping that vision of what I truly want in front of mine and writing it down and putting it on my wall, and just realizing that it's going to take time, but this is the good stuff. This is what it's all about. Is about going for the dream, dying on the road, as my man, the Dry Creek Wrangler says. Like, just don't play it safe. We got one life. Go try to do what you fucking want to do, you know?
Yeah. And I'll just chime in and say it's my job as your friend and fellow co host to help you see your dream and keep that front of mind and remind you of the big dream as it is your job to do that for me. And I
Mm,
heard you say earlier that the dream has always been going and working for Huckberry or one of these men's style outdoorsy brands. And I would
mm-hmm,
say yes. And at some point, you're going to be creating that on your own
mm.
once you've gotten that experience. Because I remember at a hazy izakaya in Japan, you telling me that you wanted to be the Anthony Bourdain of who knows what.
Yes. I want to be the Anthony Bourdain of softcore baking.
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's just the beginning. Is getting my foot in the door with these brands and being a staff writer where I'm just learning and stuff. The big dream, the biggest dream, is where I am the brand. It's like people want to read whatever the hell I'm writing. It's not just because like it's like I wrote. What I want to do is so this is kind of a mission statement. It's like I want to write to inspire, entertain, and question in everything that I do. And I want to tell stories that inspire people to look at nature and the world and global cultures and local communities. As you can see, I've been working on my cover letters in a more interesting and just awe-inspired way. I want to show people the magic in our world that is free for all of us. And that's from adventure and just getting out there and saying yes to stuff and having fun, enjoying life, making connections, digging to the roots of what it's all about. And eventually, it's going to start with making connections and working out one of these brands and getting experience there. But, my 40s, 50s, I will be the brand, and Dare to Dream podcast will be the brand, and we'll be doing this, and we'll be the guys. And the dreams will just we'll be living it. We already are, but that's the big one.
Wholeheartedly agree to all of it. You heard it here first. Thanks for tuning in with us today, everyone. We love you guys. Thank you for all the support over the past 5 years. We actually hit our 5-year anniversary, Vinny. I don't know if you know that.
Really?
Yeah.
We started in like June, right?
We started at first episode is July of 2020.
Wow. 5 years, dude. Dude, it's been a pretty insane just couple of days of like going back to my old notes and just seeing the stuff that I was writing. And like I told you, the day that you kind of woke me up from being a psychologist was that morning. I looked at just like one of my old notes and saw that I had gone through like similar experience that I'm going through now, and just kind of getting more clear on what I want. And it was saying like, I want to be content creator for these big brands. And I just saw myself kind of giving into the fact that it was really hard and being like, okay, maybe I should go try something else. But everything has happened for a reason to get you where you are now. And dude, like I just wrote today as like a note on Substack that, I got during COVID, I did my master's in creative writing, and I thought it was just going to be a cool experience and stuff. But at the very end, in my writer's workshop class, my professor left me a note on like my last assignment or something. And if I may, he said, it was a pleasure reading your work this quarter. Yada, yada. I'd encourage you to follow up in the writing you identified as your favorite, your memoir. The time has come to write your own story, as you see it now. Judging from your writing, you're in a place to do so and should harness that energy. I likewise suggest you to keep attending to the larger connections to philosophy and culture, be it spiritually or otherwise. Those associations and the reach it requires to get there make for strong writing, as exhibited in your work. If you can get through this quarter, you can write well through anything, because it was during COVID. And that inspired me to write my first book, Heirs of Youth. Like it's at the beginning of the book. I did not think I could do it at the time. I was like, maybe I had the thought of writing a book eventually, but I was like, I'm like 25. I can't do it. Like, obviously not. And then he wrote that, and that encouragement at like the last, the witching hour, I think, of the program, just getting that made everything worth it. And that was the beginning of everything. I'm taking myself seriously as a writer, and I'm really going for this. And then fast forward, I'm in Japan, and last summer, like I was applying for Time Out Tokyo, like this dream job, editorial, living in Japan and like being able to do that. And I didn't get it. I was like so upset. And wasn't that upset. Like, I was pretty bummed, and it sounded ideal. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just go home for a couple of weeks. And if I got that job, I would not have gone home. And when I came home, I met my girlfriend, had life-changing experience at Burning Man. Like, that was just meant to be. Like, I'm grateful that I didn't get that job. Just like everything has led to the next. Everything truly is happening for a reason. And we can't be passive and just let life pass us by. We got to connect the dots and look at our own past and how everything is shaping up. But just know that you're exactly where you're meant to be.
I love that. And what comes up for me is that we can't connect the dots. We need to go out there and make dots, and they'll connect when
Mm.
we look at it backwards. But that's all we got. That's our only job. Get out there and make some dots.
Make some dots, create some stars, so a constellation may form.
All right, champ. I'll see you soon, man. Love you.
All right, buddy. Love ya. Peace.